right, y'all. Peace and blessings. God bless y'all. I'm Jarvis Kingston. I hope y'all doing all right and staying strong and solid in these times that we're in. I pray that you're constantly working and getting each day, getting better and improving each day. I pray that every situation that you're going through, I pray that you overcome it and become a better person from it. And I pray that if you're feeling sad or angry or miserable, uncomfortable, or you have some anxiety, you feel stressed out or exhausted, overworked, I pray that the Most High give you comfort and peace in the midst of all your chaos, in the midst of all your situation. Or I pray that you get more peace and tranquility, you know what I mean, and some comfort, because we're in some crazy times today, okay? Now, in today's message, I want to discuss about the baby formula shortage, the baby food shortage. As you can see in the news headlines, the news broke out that there is a shortage on baby food and baby formula, and it's very tough on parents out there with multiple children trying to get baby food for their kids, man, and this is just very crazy overall. As we know, in these times that we're in, inflation is very high, and also the supply chain crisis is a big problem as well. So there's a lot of food supply, that food shortages that has issues like meat, certain dairy products, certain vegetables and fruits. Even certain foods got called back because of how damaged and ruined it was. And now we have a baby formula shortage, which is much more crazy and difficult in my view, because, you know, you got to feed the babies, you know, and when the babies can't eat, you know, the babies ain't going to stop crying all throughout the house, man, you know. And when babies have a hard time eating their food and getting their formula and everything, man, that's when you know we're in some very crazy, troubling times, okay? Joe Biden went and addressed this too, but, I mean, let's be real. Joe Biden addressing that was really a bunch of wasted words, because at the end of the day, the supply chain crisis, you know, that's something that's out of a lot of people's hands of control, because all those ports and transports and docks and everything with shipping products overseas and stuff, all those things are, they're done in a timely manner. It's not an overnight thing, right on the spot thing, you know, like baby formula is a very different type of food to make. You know, you got mixing all those different products and chemicals and all that stuff and packages. So it's a lot already as it is. And then putting it in a certain package and just delivering it through the supermarkets and everything and transporting it through truck drivers. All those things are challenging because of the supply chain crisis. And then a lot of the truck drivers are getting laid off. A lot of truck companies are going out of business. And then that caused distribution issues. And then you have a lot of people just getting fired, lay off, quitting their jobs, and then people still catching COVID and working under these crazy conditions. So that's why all these things are happening. That's why you go through the supermarket, the aisles, some aisles be looking full, and then some of them shelves be looking just straight empty. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to food being delivered on time. You know, the invoice, the shipment, the inventory. You know, it's just a lot that goes into it. It's very stressful to work in the restaurant business, to work in hospitality or retail, a supermarket. Those are very stressful jobs to work nowadays. Fast food restaurants, anything dealing with food, because you have to always wait on these truck drivers to, you know, deliver the food on a timely manner, and you got to order it weeks ahead, you know, and it just caused a lot of issues because sometimes truck drivers be late. Truck drivers come a whole another 2-3 days after. Truck drivers get the orders mixed up. So it's always a lot of issues when it comes to these things, you feel me? And this is what causing the holdups with baby formula. It's very crazy because a lot of people are very frustrated. You know, like, think about it like this. Like, I'm just a single man with no children, and I'm going through my challenges and hardships as it is just on my own. So imagine how hard it is for someone out there who's a parent, someone out there who has one child or 2-3 children. I mean, heck, some people got 4, 5, 6, 7 babies, you know. You trying to feed all 7 babies? Like, that's a lot. Even if they're not full babies and they're just like even 3, 4, 5 years old, that's still a lot. You got multiple mouths to feed. It's a very challenging thing to do. Grocery shopping is not simple as it used to be. It's very hard to budget grocery shopping when there's so much needs, you know, when there's so much mouths to feed, and you only have so much to budget and work with in the first place. Everybody is living in this hassle of overworking themselves just to survive, and they're having challenges with bills and rent and all these different obligations and duties, you know. And I'm telling you, food is a big issue. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I think, I know in the Bible, it prophesies about famine. I know for sure that famine will hit America very hard. It'll hit all over the earth because it's already prophesied. The Bible been talked about that. Of course, through Matthew 24, the book of Revelations, I believe the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, I believe the book of Ezekiel, the book of Daniel, like all these prophets have already prophesied what's about to go down as we live in it right now as we speak. But overall, man, we're living in some very troubling times. You know, this is Matthew 24, and we are in the days of Noah. And this is just the beginning of the sorrow. This is the crazy part. It's just the beginning. So as time goes on, it's going to get much more weird and crazy. So this is why we have to stay more prayed up. We have to have a strong relationship with the Most High. We have to go to Him to supply all of our needs. We have to trust and have our faith in Him and not in this system, not in this government, not in no politician, not in no leader, no nothing, okay? We only trust in the Most High and His word from now on. We ain't trusting no man or no system, what anybody got to say. Because these evil people that rule the earth, that control all these resources, that control all this wealth, all this power, these people are evil, man. And they want us to suffer. They want this whole world to be destroyed, okay? These world leaders, these politicians, man, they want this thing to burn up, bro. These people are heartless, man. They're ruthless people. We're living in a lot of captivity in this matrix. We're living in a lot of, it's just weird. We in weird times out here, you feel me? So we got to really stay prayed up and strong in these days, all right? And as far as this baby formula shortage, man, this is just a crazy thing to go through, man. Like when the babies can't eat, I mean, that's tough, man. Because one thing when a grown person has issues with food, that's, you know, because we got all these food banks and all these food drives trying to help each other out. And only so much help can go around. Almost only so much volunteer could go around, you know, so you got these pantries, you got these food drives, these food banks. They're doing all they can to gather what they could, you know what I mean? But you talking about baby food, that's not an easy thing to just grab. You know, that's not easy to have access to all the time. Like if you ever been to a food bank or a food drive or a food pantry, a lot of cases you'll always see like cereal, bread, canned foods, you know, stuff like that. Baby food, that's something you really don't see in a food bank or food drive. If you ever participated in some community event or outreach program or any food drive event, you know, you don't really see baby food. So now that these supermarkets don't have baby food, these grocery stores don't have it, that's going to cause an uproar and a lot of chaos in this country, bro. And now more women have to definitely just go on breastfeeding and go from there. And a lot of women, you know, they get really tired of doing that. That's very exhausting. It's a lot. You know, it's draining when a woman has to constantly just breastfeed all throughout the day, all throughout the night, you know. So we are in some crazy, challenging times, man. My heart goes out to every parent out there. Any hardworking person out there doing what they can for their family. My heart and prayers go out to you and your children, man. I pray that you can provide the best way you can through your situation. And yeah, man, this is just a real crazy thing going on right now. So, all right. So what I want to do is just read this article that's titled, it's from Associated Press News. It's from Matthew Perrone. It was written yesterday. And the title is Explainer, What's Behind the Baby Formula Shortage? Okay. Many parents are hunting for infant formula because of a combination of short and long-term problems that has hit most of the biggest U.S. brands. Millions of babies in the U.S. rely on formula, which is the only source of nutrition recommended for infants who aren't exclusively breastfed. Here's a look at what's behind the problem and what parents can do. Why is there a shortage? Ongoing supply disruptions have combined with a recent safety recall to leave many pharmacy and supermarket shelves bare. The problems began last year as the COVID-19 pandemic led to disruptions in labor, transportation, and raw materials, economy-wide issues that didn't spare the formula industry. Inventory was further squeezed by parent stockpiling during the COVID-19 lockdowns. Then in February, Abbott Nutrition recalled several major brands of powdered formula and shut down its Sturgis, Michigan factory when federal officials began investigating 4 babies who have suffered from bacterial infections after consuming formula from the facility. Wow. Abbott is one of the only few of companies that produce the vast majority of the U.S. formula supply, so their recall wiped out a large segment of the market. What is in baby formula? Most formulas contain protein from cow's milk that's been altered to be easier to digest and enhanced with extra nutrients needed for growth and development. The Food and Drug Administration sets specific nutritional requirements, including minimum amounts of protein, fat, calcium, and a number of vitamins. Formula makers achieve those levels by adding various sugars, oils, and minerals. The formulas are designed to mimic breast milk, though studies have repeatedly shown better health outcomes for babies who are breastfed. Why can't all mothers rely on breast milk? Health professionals recommend exclusively breastfeeding babies until they are 6 months old. But federal figures show that only 1 in 4 are relying solely on breast milk at that age. Mothers face a number of challenges to long-term breastfeeding, including returning to work and finding the time and equipment needed to pump breast milk. About 60% of mothers stop breastfeeding sooner than they had planned, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. State and federal laws have been enacted to encourage breastfeeding by requiring break time and accommodations for mothers of infants. Rates of breastfeeding have consistently been lower among Black babies than other groups. About 3/4 of Black babies are breastfed in infancy, below the national average of 84%, according to the CDC. What should parents do if they are having trouble finding formula? Talk with your pediatrician or call a local food bank to see if they can help locate some options. Experts also recommend checking with smaller stores and pharmacies, which may still have supplies when larger stores run out. Most regular baby formulas contain the same basic ingredients and nutrients, so parents shouldn't hesitate to buy a different brand if they're having trouble finding their regular one. Some infants require specialty formulas due to allergies, digestive problems, and other medical conditions. Parents should talk to their doctor if they can't find those products, which manufacturers usually distribute through pharmacies and clinics. Families that disqualify for WIC, a federal program similar to food stamps that pays for about half the formula used in the U.S., can also contact their local agency. Health officials also warn against buying formula via social media websites or outside of conventional retailers because they could be counterfeit. Why are parents told not to use make-your-own formula recipes online? Many do it for yourself. Formulas recipes are made from cow's milk and granular sugar that may be difficult for young babies to digest. They also lack the specific vitamins and proteins found in breast milk and FDA-approved formulas that are needed for basic nutrition. Particularly for small babies, many of these formulas and mixtures that are found online don't contain even the most basic nutrient mixes that babies need to survive, said Dr. Stephen Abrams, a pediatrician at the University of Texas, Austin. Abrams also stressed that parents should never dilute infant formula. What are retailers doing to keep formula in stock? Several national chains have limited the number of containers customers can purchase in stores and online. For CVS and Walgreens, the limit is 3 per customer. Target limits purchases to 4 per person when buying online. Amazon said Thursday it is working to keep the products available on its website and monitoring third-party sellers for price gouging. If we identify a price that violates our policy, we remove the offer and take appropriate action with the seller, a company spokesperson said in a statement. When are supplies likely to improve? Health regulators recently announced several steps designed to boost supply, including allowing faster importation of formula made overseas. Typically, 98% of baby formula consumed in the U.S. is made domestically, according to federal officials. The FDA is working with Abbott to fix the violations that triggered the shutdown of its Michigan plant, which produces Similac, Elecare, and several other leading powdered formulas. The company says its products have not been directly linked to the bacterial infections in children, pointing out that genetic samples collected from its factory did not match those found in several infants who got sick. The Chicago-based company said this week that pending FDA approval, it could restart manufacturing at its plant within 2 weeks. After that, it will take another 6 to 8 weeks before new products hit store shelves. But even then, experts caution that many of the industry-wide issues will continue to restrain supplies. This is going to be a problem, and it's not going away for at least a period of several months, Abrams said. Well, there you have it with that article that explains what's behind the baby formula shortage. So this is pretty crazy to go through right now. There's a lot of newborn babies that just hit Earth, and they're already having problems being fed and given the right nutrition, because there's been a callback on some of these products. So also Joe Biden just also addressed the whole baby formula shortage issue. They're going to work within the USDA and the federal government to fix this issue. And this is crazy. It's crazy that something like this happens right after Mother's Day. That's kind of interesting. You have Mother's Day, and then following that, you have a baby formula shortage. So it's like one thing after another in these times that we're in. So, yeah, this is pretty crazy, man. And I pray that any parent out there that have children, I pray that you can provide nourishment for them and provide a shelter and comfort and raise your children the best way you can. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 19, it talks about in the days of Noah. Book of Matthew 24:19. It talks about, woe to those who are pregnant women and nursing mothers, because who are nursing babies in times like this, because these are some crazy times, But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days. See, we're in the days of Noah. We're in the beginning of the sorrows. So raising up a child in a time like this with all this stuff going on, it's going to be very crazy and intense and hectic. So I just want to pray for all you parents out there. And a lot of women out there are single mothers. A lot of women are, man. Which is a very challenging thing, man, to raise all those babies all by yourself. I pray that y'all could get more help and support in your situation. I pray that you could also find a man that could help you with that as well. It doesn't have to be a husband or boyfriend. And I know in this culture, there's a whole dating market and how everything is. Single mothers kind of get attacked and bashed like heavy. And then you kind of have all guys that are like, oh, I'm not dealing with no single mother, or, oh, I'm not simping, and this, that, and the other. Everyone's situation is different. You have guys that have stepped up and became stepfathers and stepdaddies and whatnot. You have guys that have dated or have dealt with single mothers. So I pray that everyone can humble themselves and put their pride to the side and stop leaning on their own understanding and just survive out here. You know what I mean? Because it's very challenging out here. And these babies need help and comfort, man. And times are just going to get more crazy and hard out here. So I think it's important for us to work together and put our pride to the side. And there's nothing wrong with needing help. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs assistance. So I pray that every parent out there can get the assistance and help that they can. And I pray that these children are taken care of and fed and supported out here. You feel me? Because we are in some crazy heavy times, okay? So as we close out this message, I just want to pray to God that whoever listens to this message, I pray that you get baptized, so you start your life over for the Lord. I pray that if you are a parent, I pray that you keep providing for your children the best way you can. I pray that you keep surviving and keep staying strong. I pray that you stay prayed up. I pray that you get the Lord and you put the Most High first. You keep praying to the Most High and keep being more solution-oriented. I'm Jarvis Kingston. I got much love for y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.